3, 2, 1. Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining you... already screwed it up. Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Yes, I am here. False starts and all. We must have all the false starts on this show. All of them, every single one. I'm ready for it. How are you doing, Ian?
I am awake and technically here. How about you, sir?
I am also awake and technically here, but you know, I'm not really mentally here. I'm kind of like checked out. I'd be in bed right now if I wanted to be in bed right now, but I don't because I want to be here instead. So we're here. We're here.
We are.
We have some things to ask and answer, but I think we have something to do before we get to that.
We do. We need to mention our wonderful patron Piggy Bank and their amazing little animation that is at the beginning of the show now.
Yeah, we totally forgot to mention it. Mention them. I'm sorry, Piggy Bank. I'm so sorry. I forgot to mention you. We've been using that little floppy animation at the beginning of the show for a few weeks now, and I just completely forgot to say, oh yeah, thank you, Piggy Bank, so much for making that, because that's super awesome, and it was really cool to work with you and kind of surprise Ian with it.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
The only reason why I didn't bring it up earlier is because I'm a flake.
Yeah, well, so am I. I just totally forgot. I'm so sorry.
I mean, just add milk and we're part of your balanced breakfast. But otherwise, yeah, no, it's fantastic. I love it. It adds a little bit of bounce, quite literally, to the whole thing.
Boingy. It's very boingy. It's like a...
Give it enough time, we're actually going to look like a real podcast.
There's a little bit of gummy berry juice in there. Gotta go boingy, boingy, boingy. Yeah, it's awesome. If you want to check out more of Piggy Bank's work, you can find them over on Twitter at Mark and Flops. I mean, it's a fitting name. It's very floppy.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's some very floppy Bumble King. So thank you. We appreciate that very much, and you were very patient with me as I tried to say, I want to put this in the show, but we need this, and this, and this, and this in order to actually do it. And I'm glad you were willing to work with me on that. Very much appreciated. So, all right. Are we ready to actually hop into the Q&A now, Ian? I think we're ready.
I think we are. If you want your question answered on the show, email us at bumblecast@yahoo.com, tweet to us at BumbleKast, comment on any of the YouTube videos. If you are a patron, post anywhere on the Patreon page, although we would prefer that you post in the just the general Q&A channel over on the Discord. The priority is for those who are $5 members on patreon.com or a $6 donator over at ko-fi.com. That's ko-fi.com/BumbleKast. And you get your question answered sooner rather than later. Please check the Q&A master list over at bumbleking.com/BumbleKast. Check the last couple of episodes if you don't want to click that link. And don't ask about what would have happened in Archie Sonic. We've covered this multiple times. So let's stop going over it. Let's just get to the priority Q&A.
All right, let's do it to it here with this one from Papadripopolous. Ian, giving you a chance to make some dev out there giddy. Obviously, you're working with rivals of Aether, but is there some other indie game you've seen around that you'd go, hey, I'd write a comic of that?
I mean, the two kind of gimmies are not two. We're going to have, this list is going to keep growing Spanish Inquisition style.
Probably.
Shovel Knight, Hollow Knight, Undertale, those are all readily right there saying, please. I'm inclined to say Hades, except I'm intimidated by that level of writing, and I don't think I could do anything as good. So while I would love to, I don't think I'm good enough to maintain their level of excellence.
Yeah, you could do it, but man, Supergiant is a really hard bar to meet. They're always up there. They're so good.
And beyond that, it's not so much I don't know. It isn't that I don't want other titles. It's that I haven't had a chance to play most of what's out there. So, I mean, I'm pretty much game for nigh upon any challenge when you get down to it. Whether it's something like make a story out of Stardew Valley, or here is a well-known narrative-driven game translated to comic. I'm pretty much game for anything, man. It's fun.
I mean, hey, you spent nearly a decade writing basically Freedom Planet. So
I suppose.
So hey, you can do it again. You can do that one. That's the only other one I can think of. Like, what could you write? It's like, oh yeah, Freedom Planet. It's like, yeah, just swap out some characters and you're good to go. Next question is from Scruffymatt. All right, fellas, you've had your practice questions, but now, before the movie comes out, I once again must ask you, who would win? Give me those predictions. It's Kong versus Godzilla.
Logistically, Godzilla should win.
Monkey versus lizard. Anyway, yeah, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
There's no competition. I'm sorry. Yes, Godzilla is a powerful monkey, to be sure. An excellent combatant.
You mean Godzilla's a powerful monkey? Yeah, I mean, I think he's a lizard, dude.
No.
I think you meant Kong is a powerful monkey.
Yeah. Sure, he's fought lizards and monsters and whatnot, and he's definitely a powerful monkey, but you shoot him with bullets and he dies. Godzilla, you shoot him with a nuke and he gets stronger. You know, it shouldn't really be a fight. It almost boils down to like the Superman Batman. Oh, Batman could totally win if he had enough prep time. Sure, maybe. And if Supes just didn't give a flying frig anymore, he could go into orbit and nuke him with heat vision before bats could even bat an eyelash. All Godzilla has to do is line up a shot and, scream, zap him, and we got monkey meat for the next 20 years. I'm sorry, Kong. There's no conceivable way Kong should legitimately be able to hold his own, short of they gimp Godzilla.
Yep. That would be the only way, I think. Otherwise,
but he can use tools, and they get turned to molten slag under the radioactive fire. But he's strong. So is freaking Godzilla. They're like comparable. Come on, dude. No,
it's Godzilla.
No.
Yeah,
it's Godzilla.
It's Godzilla. Yeah, I don't know if this was supposed to be a hard one, Scruffy. No, it's Godzilla. Like, duh. To be honest,
it's not like I have anything against Kong. I root for the undermonkey, sure, but he's a great guy. I would love to go out and get a banana split with him, but he can't. No, he's not even in the same class.
Yeah, no, not even close. I don't even understand why this is happening, other than historical precedents, to be honest with you, and the fact that they're currently under license by the same film studio. That's it. That's the only reason why I can think of they're doing this, because they did this, back in the 60s, whenever, or 70s, whenever the first one came out. Might have been 60s.
See, there were two versions, and I don't know if they kind of came out concurrently or not.
Yeah, wasn't it one in Japan, Godzilla won, but in America, Kong won, or something like that? I feel like they're just going to do that again, or neither of them win, and they have to team up. That's what I'm expecting. The two ending story is fake? Oh, darn. Okay. I don't know. Kong always wins?
I've heard that they've promised a decisive victory, but I'm kind of banking on the story being humanity has meddled once again, built their own kaiju and Mechagodzilla. That pissed off Big G, and Kong is just kind of caught in the middle of it all, and they'll come together to fight Mecha in the end.
The real question is, are the humans going to be boring, annoying, or just suck in general? That's the real question.
Oh, you already know the answer to that. The answer is yes to all three.
Well, I mean, it's so weird because the human element is such a big part of these movies. Like,
It's always terrible.
Historically, the human element is always a big part of these movies. But it's like, except for maybe Shin Godzilla, none of them are like interesting or fascinating or anything. It's
okay. I haven't seen Shin Godzilla.
It's so weird.
Still, so.
Well,
okay.
I mean, Shin Godzilla is like another beast entirely, like literally, and figuratively. It's a really fascinating movie, but yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do for this one. It's gonna be, I suppose, an interesting watch. I guess we'll see, but I mean, yeah, as long as the humans stay out of it, I don't care. I don't care. Keep those humans away. I just want big monster fight.
The trailer's already shown that they've got some little innocent girl who must be protected by Kong, and the adult to be the voice of the child, and that cardboard cutout of a human being from the last Godzilla movie's back for some reason.
Was Mothra in the last movie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, but wait, she didn't survive, did she? Spoilers.
Yep. The proud Mothra tradition of here I am, boy.
That sucks too, because I love Mothra. But she is immortal. She can come back. She can be reborn. So who knows? Maybe she'll come to save the day for once.
I would laugh so hard if Big G and Kong have been punked by Mecha, and then out of nowhere, Mothra!
It's
Mothra!
By God, it's Mothra with the steel chair! Save Mothra. Why did you say that name?
Oh yeah, Mechagodzilla, you think you're all powerful with your laser beams and your missile fingers, but I am Mothra, literally immortal. I have my own song within another character's franchise. What can you do against this wingspan, brother? Oh no, it's the Mothra man, Randy Savage.
Oh yeah. They should do it. Whatever. Just go bonkers. Don't even try to
with
be
the hat and the streamers coming off the wings and everything.
Yes. It's do not be serious anymore. Just don't have to be serious anymore. Yeah, whatever. Just do it. Thank you for this question, Scruffymatt. Here's our next one from Diane W. Here's a fun question to make up for my last one. Would Shadow be unable to steal candy from a baby if he finds it too cute?
Shadow the Hedgehog doesn't find anything cute.
It might make it easier, if anything. It might make it easier to steal candy from babies if they're cute. Because then
he stole popcorn all the time, and Chow are pretty cute.
Yeah. You can do it. I mean, it's Shadow for you these days. He would fight a baby. Shadow would fight a baby.
And that's fine by me.
He would kick a baby. He would kick a puppy, too. Next question is from Scurvy Piratehog. So we know that Sonic can't lose. So that begs the question, who would win in a fight between Sonic and Sonic? Note, there's no fake Sonic here. They are both real Sonics.
Well, clearly Sonic would win.
Obviously. Sonic would win, and then Sonic would also lose. But he would also win.
No, because Sonic won.
Oh. I don't know. I prefer...
Because once Sonic wins, Sonic's won. You can't ever lose, so Sonic won. You can't lose with the...
I mean, Sonic 1 is okay, but Sonic 2 is better. It gets better. But then there's 3 and Knuckles, and that's the superior one. That's the best. But I mean, what if it were Sonic versus Sonic Drive-In? They have chili dogs, so Sonic Drive-In wins. But then if Sonic gets a chili dog from Sonic Drive-In, does he win? Do we even know what's going on here?
They make a purchase. He makes a purchase. No. He gets to consume chili dog. They've made a sale. They both win. Therefore, Sonic can't lose.
Boom! There we go. We got it. No matter who wins, we lose. Next up, we got a question from Drewmaru. Since Sega doesn't want to acknowledge certain classic elements in modern Sonic, especially those that we will be seeing in the new IDW classic comics, such as Mighty and Ray, can you give us a story reason why we don't see them? I'd hate to imagine they'd be dead or non-existent, and not being the focus seems strange in some instances, like the Metal Virus, where it brought in so many characters. Are we to assume that they were holding out somewhere, or perhaps they were victims of the virus?
I don't really want to commit to that one too much, because I feel like the classic era is still being defined as its own thing. For purposes of the story, I mean, it's a big world. You know, just because you don't see one person doesn't mean that they don't exist. That's like saying season 1, Cream doesn't exist because she didn't show up, you know? So just say they're happily living in some other corner of the planet, and sure, they got infected, but they're better now or something. I don't have answers for everything because I can't account for everything.
Mighty and Ray apparently don't exist in modern Sonic, even though they were in Classic, and Classic is a splinter timeline of modern, and things are...
I can't account for everything.
Yeah, somebody messed up. Next up, we have a question from Noodaloo. So the Chaos Emeralds are the main Super Saiyan making gems. There have been other, mostly collectible, powerful sets, such as the Soul Emeralds, Time Stones, World Rings, Anarchy Barrel, Power Rings, etc. What are your favorites in this B-list category? Any least favorites?
Kind of like the Chaos Rings, just because they're so obscure and I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
The World Rings are neat in the different forms we get, but they're so exclusive to the storybooks that I feel like they're pigeonholed, you know? They can't really be used elsewhere. Maybe Chaos Rings could be brought back and fill that void. We have enough magical MacGuffins floating around as it is, but who am I to ever say no to indulgence?
Why not a few more, you know? Just keep them coming.
I didn't like the way the Super Emeralds were handled in old Archie.
Yeah.
That drove me bonkers since they were so very wrong, and really didn't like the multiple elemental forms because they did nothing.
Yeah.
For the one issue they showed up in. So that, and I wasn't particularly fond of the Power Rings and old Archie granting a super form if you had enough of them, because it brings in too many avenues for powered states, you know? Alternate forms are fine and all, but there's so many rings, I feel like giving them too much power negates the fact that there are so many of them. They should be low-powered thingies.
Yeah.
But that's personal.
Yeah, the weird integration of power rings into the comics, and then kind of the way they worked on Set AM, which was different. It was an interesting way to do it, but to integrate in something that is integral to Sonic, but in a different way. It definitely was just a lot of power creep with them as time went on. Yeah, so yeah, I agree. Power Rings probably my personal least favorite of these, of the B-list ones. I have, a good association with the Time Stones because I love Sonic CD, but in reality they weren't particularly useful, or they didn't really do anything in the game, at least. Just story-wise, sure, but in the game they didn't really serve much of a function.
Story-wise, they're terrifying because
Yeah.
a single one allows time travel.
Yeah.
And that alone is just... Ah!
Yeah. That's scary story-wise. But in game terms, they didn't do anything. So, I mean, the Soul Emeralds are cool just because, they're blazes, and blaze is cool. So that's cool, right?
Yeah, they're so ill-defined.
I know. Everything about Blaze is ill-defined, just about. Like her entire universe. It's just, yeah. I would love to see the Super Emeralds make a comeback and actually do what they're supposed to do and be used properly. I think you could pull it off, Ian.
I think they're gone, though.
I know. Well, not in Classic necessarily, are they?
Yeah, in Mania, you see them in Hidden Palace, and they're all cracked and depowered.
Oh. Well, they still exist, though, so that means they could still come back, It's comic books. Nothing's... Well, okay, it's not comic books, but still, it's Sonic. Nothing is ever really dead in Sonic, right?
Except for Mephiles and Black Doom.
Don't think about that too hard.
And Maria and Gerald.
Yeah, they'll come back. They'll be clones. They will be clones. Don't worry.
Oh, God.
They'll clone them all.
That's exactly what the franchise needs.
More clones? Yeah, all the clones. Why not? Just clone everybody.
Send in the clones.
John B is up next with a question. With Dr. Starline playing a significant role in both bad guys and chow races and badnik bases, did anything have to change in Bad Guys to keep in step with the main book? You've talked about collaborating with Evan before, but now that her first big story is out, I was wondering if you have more specific examples.
Not that I can remember. I think Evan and I compared notes on how the Tricore would ultimately work and be rendered so she could use it in her story. And there was an element in hers that was going to play into stuff that's coming out later on that we had to talk about, make sure that things were in sync. But Bad Guy was pretty self-contained. It was more the events of chow races that introduced elements that I'm following up on in my stuff to a degree here and there without getting too specific and spoilery. But I don't recall a ton of tweakage needed. Again, because the two of us collaborated to get the springboard up and running. So we already had a pretty clear idea of what each other was doing and how it was all going to fit together. So any details are easy enough to hash out.
All right, next question is from Sony N. First of all, love the show and comics. And I loved the Metal Virus arc. Simple question. Sonic, is there a limit to how dark you went with it? I remember you saying you got away with a lot, and the tone I feel was great. Did it feel darker than what you normally write for Sonic books, even Archie? And if you can answer, how far did you want to take it?
I think Metal Virus is about as dark as Sonic should get. It was certainly harrowing, but when you step back and look at it, it still has a degree of cartoony nonsense to it. All the Zombots are still kind of brightly colored. There's no, dismemberment. There's no truly horrifying things. It's more of the situation and the characters taking their own peril seriously. Whereas you, as the reader, can either go, oh man, this is kind of intense, or this is so over the top, it's funny. I feel like the Archie books went a little too far here and there. Famously, Tommy's explosive exit. But I also can't think of it ending any other way. Maybe, have it happen off screen. But I think overall, Metal Virus is about as dark and as serious as any Sonic media should get, really. I feel like there were some moments in Archie Sonic that went too far. Like, I'm not a big fan of season 3 of Sonic X because I think it went too far in some places.
What about the Sad AM kind of vibe? That's a pretty... Overall, it's a dark world, but I guess the character...
It's got a dark palette, but going back and watching it again fairly recently, it's kind of goofy.
It is,
here and there.
It is.
And I think the severity of it is built up more in the minds of us 30 and 40-year-olds who watched it. It's kind of like Mega Man X. It's like, oh man, Mega Man X is so grim and dramatic next to classic. And next to classic, sure, but you're fighting neon-colored animal people.
Yeah. It's... Yeah.
I mean, take it for what it is. I'm not trying to demean either of them, but at the same time, let's call a spade, you know?
Yeah, the Zero series is where it actually gets pretty dark, more than anything.
Yeah,
but even still, it's still cartoony nonsense in the end because it's all cartoony anime style.
Not that I'm super familiar with Zero, but I feel like that was a little easier to swallow thanks to the design. The palette was kind of washed out.
Yeah.
And the designs had a kind of minimalism to them that, I don't know, lends itself a little better to a starker story, maybe. This is not a very well opinion, but
it's like a sort of Mad Max style post-apocalyptic world, but still a lot of the technology still exists, so it's still got some color to it. It's honestly, it's the kind of theming that I personally enjoy, where it has a twinge of darkness to it, but it's not like overblown. It's not ridiculous. Some a little. It's a little serious, but there's also some fun stuff. That's what I want. That's what I want.
And I kind of feel like Forces both went too far and not far enough.
Yeah. Weirdly, yes, I agree.
Like the subject matter was, they tried to treat it very grim and serious, but then didn't follow up on it in any meaningful way with the characters. So, there's a whole bit of side dialogue where Infinite has literally wiped out hundreds, if not thousands, of soldiers. The implication is pretty clear that they are dead, and you never follow up on it.
No.
Was that a virtual thing? Are they really dead? What happened? So, I don't know.
The horrors of war. Very rarely shown.
It's a tricky balancing act because, as fans of the series, we want to treat it seriously and to be taken seriously. But at the same time, you can't go so far with your colorful talking animal people. There's a degree of seriousness that just can't be applied. It all boils down to the sincerity of the storytelling, I feel like.
Right.
If the characters take the situation seriously, then and react realistically to what they live in, I think that translates to the reader in a way that is more palatable than trying to inject real world stakes into a cartoony universe and expect them to mesh.
Right. Yeah. I agree. Our next question is from Sin Fritz. As it seems Sega is constantly changing things up a bit with their characters for the Sonic franchise, what's the word on our boy Knuckles? Is he the last of his kind, the last of his clan, or something else now? On top of that, is he still a treasure hunter?
As far as I'm aware, yeah, he's the last Echidna. He's the guardian of the Master Emerald. He's still a treasure hunter, but he's not supposed to leave his island except when he does.
I don't know how that works.
He would never trust anyone else to watch the Emerald and would never leave it behind, except when he does.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do remember that when we did the Sonic Forces tie-in comics, and I got the story where Eggman tests out the Phantom Ruby and Knuckles and Silver fight Phantom Chaos, and then they go off to form the Resistance, and Eggman's going, wahaha, my first test was successful. I sent them a note saying, why isn't he taking the Master Emerald? Knuckles just left and he's right there. And they're like, he doesn't want it right now. And it's like, okay, let's rationalize that in the script. And we got what we got. So.
Well, oh well. Poor Knuckles. He's been getting the short end of the stick since, I don't know, probably since after Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And our last priority question comes to us courtesy of Digama. One final question in this vein. If Lost Hedgehog Tales was in Drogoon, what race would it be?
Well, it would definitely be a Drogoon, a mythical thing that everyone seeks out, but it never actually shows up.
There we go. There we go. Perfect.
Something that's supposed to be remarkable and world-changing, but really isn't all that extraordinary when you get down to it.
Spoiler alert.
I keep trying to put this out there. It's not like this is going to be the hidden secrets of what might have been. It's like, this is what I wanted to pitch, and if it didn't get approved, oh well.
No, I mean Drogoon.
No, the race themselves.
I thought that,
they're supposed to be these godly beings, but really, they're only human.
But they're Drogoon. They're not human.
Yeah.
The spoilers that the Drogoon is unremarkable. You named the whole comic after them. Like,
you've got 60 pages. I think it's pretty clear Wind is not some kind of divine being.
Oh, okay. Why not? I'm just giving you guff, man. I'm just giving you guff.
Yeah, well, I'm going to recover from over-guffitude. We'll come back after these messages.
All right, let's move on into the standard Q&A. Here's this one from Egg. Can you two give us a list of things you can't do in the IDW series? A full video explaining everything would be nice. No, I can't, because IDW doesn't tell me what to do. I can do what I want. IDW can't stop me. They can't do anything.
I'm not going to put together a comprehensive video talking about all the business practices between licensor and licensee. That's going to get me fired.
Probably.
Plus, I don't know all the things. Just, whatever makes sense. It's not like there's some hard and fast laminated list that I have taped to the refrigerator that I have to review every day.
That's what people think
you... Thou shalt not have Sonic say a swear.
That's what people think you have, Ian. They've tried to make lists and everything, and it's like, come on, guys.
I know.
It's frustrating, and I'm not even you, so I can't even imagine how frustrating it is for you.
Like, do these people imagine Izuka-san descending from the mountains like Moses with the tablets?
Yes.
Sonic shalt not cry. Sonic shalt not lose. No, it's just they have their licensing rules, and whenever we cross into what they don't want us to do that given month, we don't do it.
Yeah. I mean, tomorrow they could say, yes, Sonic can cry. And then the next day they'd be like, no, Sonic cannot cry. And it would be very confusing and annoying, and you'd probably have a breakdown of some sort. But that's the way it goes.
To give a stark contrast of how things have changed over the years, there is no way I would be able to change Knuckles' appearance. And yet in previous materials, he was green for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
I couldn't introduce any family members. He used to have 20. It's... Things change. Oversight changes. Global marketing plans change.
Yeah. Yep. Things change. But I do like what I'm seeing in the chat here as we're recording this, since we have the patrons listening in. They say, Sonic can cry. He just chooses not to. There we go. That's how it works. Anyway, when are you going to make that video, Ian? Next question is from Raven. Ian, if you could bring any one character back from Archie Comics, who would you pick and how would you work them in? Kyle, care to jump in as well? Maybe, but I'll let Ian go first.
If we're talking Archie exclusively,
and
just the one.
It's hard. It's a hard one.
I guess it's a toss-up between Relic and Eclipse. Because Knuckles could sorely use an expanded supporting cast. And Eclipse turned out way more fun than I was anticipating. But as two standalones, I think those would be the easiest to bring over, because the Meropis crew kind of acts as a unit. Cassie and Clove are kind of a unit.
Yeah.
I don't think any of the egg bosses really either stand up by themselves strong enough to be worth bringing over wholesale, or just wouldn't work without what they're being built around. Tundra wouldn't work without Rotor. So,
Right.
there you go. And Thunderbolt would just kind of be a bit of a retread to Starline.
Yeah, that's the thing. Characters, a lot of characters, they work better with other characters. So separating them from the characters that they are most associated with is difficult. But I think you could do it with Breezy.
Yeah.
Breezy would be a very interesting character to bring over, I think.
She would kind of run parallel to Clutch.
Maybe.
But they are different enough in their presentation that there might be a fun rivalry between the two of them. I don't know.
Yeah. And, having like a gray area villain-ish character. Because that's kind of what Breezy is. She's not exactly a villain. Was she? I'm trying to remember.
No, she was self-serving.
Right, yeah. So having
she would
something
stab
like that,
anybody in the back.
right? So having like a gray area character like that would be kind of cool. That would be neat. What about like pre-reboot?
Pre-reboot? Only the one?
Yeah. It's hard.
Maybe Mogul.
Yeah, you might be able to have some fun with him.
Because basically Breezy filled Mogul's niche after the reboot.
Right, that's true, yeah.
And his aspirations were far grander, so that would make him a bigger direct threat. That would be kind of fun. Kind of inclined to say Elias, but Elias needs Sally to matter.
Yeah.
So, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't really think of a particular one. I don't know. Maybe Tommy Turtle, so you can kill him again. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that.
And before someone cries foul, I'm specifying the Archie books and not the Sad AM cast, because if they are to ever stand a chance of seeing the light of day again, that distinction needs to be made.
Yes.
They are their own characters from their own bit of spin-off material that isn't connected to Archie. Hint, nudge.
Maybe Mina. Bring Mina. I don't know. You could have some fun with her. Dr. Finitivus? Sure, why not?
Maybe I feel like his story is so intrinsically connected to the cluster fluff that was Knuckles' backstory that just bringing over the character alone might be a little shallow. I don't know.
Yeah.
He would need a new base motivation.
Yeah.
The character himself would be fine, but he would need a new reason to be.
Right. You can pull it off. Speaking of pulling things off, let's pull off reading this next question here from Yellow Pig. Ian, friend in JCR Krause, what is your opinion on the Fleetley Sonic the Comic? I don't know. What is my opinion on the Fleetley Sonic the Comic? What is this Fleetley?
Tell me, Kyle.
That's what it says. I am JCR Krause.
Tell me, friend Krause.
I am JCR Krause now. That's me. Bring back Fleetley. Yes, bring back Fleetley. Man, it has been years since I've read any of the Fleetway stuff, and I remember liking it. It was another different take, and that's what I love about Sonic so much, is there's so many different takes, and there's so many different ways to explore the character that, I don't know, I thought it was pretty cool, and it was just so different from what I was used to as far as Sonic comics was concerned, but I have not read it in years. What do you think?
Like you said, it's been a long time since I went through it. I just remember thinking it was very weird.
Yeah.
And then that context got applied to Archie Sonic. I'm like, well, what if somebody never read any Archie Sonic? and they came into it, this late in the game as I'm coming late to it, it'd be pretty weird too. So
Right. Yep.
it was kind of horizon expanding for me. I remember a few highlights, the Brotherhood of Metallics, of course. I remember adoring every time Captain Plunder hit the page. And what else? Ancient Echidnas palling around with dinosaurs. That was pretty cool.
I don't know if I ever got that far.
By palling around, I mean hunting to extinction, but Ancient Echidnas and dinosaurs together is just cool.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're Sonic Underground.
I don't think I ever got that far, but I do very distinctly remember Brown Sonic running really fast and turning blue. Because, that's like, the first issue? Very early on. And then Kintobor becomes Robotnik and, things like that. And it's like, wow, this is very different. I like it. Oh, issue 6? Okay. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Sonic was brown for 6 issues? Man, they would never let that fly today. Holy crap, they wouldn't let him be brown for a panel. Jeez.
I do remember not being as thrilled with their series original characters not being Sonic styled, being very anthro.
Mm-hmm.
But Archie Sonic was kind of guilty of that, especially early days. So it's not really something I can universally condemn on,
Yeah. I mean, that tend to do kind of happen at that time, just in general with Sonic stuff. So I get it.
Captain Plunder did not look like a Sonic character remotely, but I love him. So hypocrite.
Yeah. Oh, well. Here's our next question from Rodimus Prime. Ian and Kyle, what are your thoughts on the IDW Transformers comics?
I haven't read them.
I have not read very many of them, but what I have read, I really do enjoy. And I've particularly liked the Windblade series. So, remember a few weeks ago I said my favorite Transformer was Windblade, and that would be why, because her comics have been excellent. So, but it's also been a while since I've read them, and details are now kind of fuzzy, but I do remember that they were good. She's a very interesting character. So, and I like her a lot. And,
I do know that the handfuls of panels and pages I've seen over the years have wowed me, because to draw a Transformer on model anyway seems like it's got to be a pain.
Yeah.
To make them expressive and emotive and to feel alive and moving in a space, I can't even begin to conceptualize. So huge kudos to the art team, because what I've seen has been always just spectacular.
Yeah, the art is outstanding. I don't know how they pull that off consistently with making sure their designs are even correct from panel to panel. It's impressive. So,
I mean, the one story I did for the Transformers Meet My Little Pony by Jack Lawrence, not only is he drawing the Transformers incredibly emotive and dynamic,
right,
and on model, but he's also rendering the ponies and Ponyville in the cartoon style, and he made them stand side by side and feel natural.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of dark voodoo magic he used to achieve this, but Jack, if you're listening, holy crap, dude.
Years and years of practice and a lot of talent that has been cultivated very well.
I mean, there's got to be a different way of being able to look at the page and the lines and to break it down into shapes and whatnot. I can't do that. My brain just does not function that way. I cannot see the code in the Matrix, all I can see is what's right in front of me.
Woof. Yeah. It's they look great though. It's outstanding stuff. So for sure. Vlad C is next. Ian, how do you react to moments from your work being posted out of context or played for laughs? Do you take it to heart or play it off? Does it depend on what the content is? Moments that come to mind are Archie Mega Man's defeat of Airman and Archie being posted for laughs due to its tone, or stuff that led to backlash like IDW Shadow's infamous Cowards Run, I Win episode?
It depends on the situation. It's a little frustrating when it gets put out there out of context just for laughs, and everyone takes the cheap, quick shot and moves on because it's like, would you be laughing if you read the whole story? Maybe you would have gotten the moment and enjoyed it. Or maybe, in that, like the Mega Man reference in particular,
yeah,
maybe you don't think that's how the franchise should be represented and you think it goes too far and that you're able to laugh at it. Okay, so it goes. I'm not going to... what I do is not going to land the same for everybody.
Well, weren't you just making references to the Megas and Airman Cannot Be Defeated with that one?
Here and there.
Here and there. Yes. Yeah, it's like, I mean, you kind of built that for meme.
If
for
they're
memes.
laughing at it, there's a difference between laughing with you and laughing at you.
True, yes.
Like the one that I've seen the most go around is the Needleman execution scene. And people either going, holy crap, this is exactly how dark Mega Man should be. This is how they should address it. Other people going, what in the world? This is so beyond the pale. What idiot did this?
Mm-hmm.
And there never seems to be an in-between. So, just kind of take it in stride. And the stuff where, like Shadow's bit, where I'm trying my best to rationalize and do mental gymnastics to take a pre-approved story and make it fit under new guidelines. I just got to take it on the chin. It is what it is. I do the best with what I got and just hope for the best. Some people accepted the rationalization. Others thought it was wildly out of character. I can't help it. All I can do is the best I can and hope I entertain the maximum number of people. And over time, you just kind of build a thick skin. If not, I would be an even worse jittery mess than I already am.
Oh, don't worry. Those high numbers are good. That's right. When your blood pressure is higher, it means your blood is pushing faster, which is good, right? You want that. You want your blood pumping.
I worry about it. That's my secret, Kyle. I'm always worried.
Me too. Maybe Toby has a question. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, he does. Do you think Sega would ever let IDW finish Sad AM in comic book form with you as the writer? That cliffhanger ending still stinks.
I don't think so. Like 99% sure, no. Number one, that's a very niche market. You grew up with it. I grew up with it. There's a lot of people who would want to see it, but we are a very small audience.
We're old.
Grand scheme of things.
We're old now, guys. We're old. It's been 30 years.
So
yeah.
I would love to see it resolved, but I don't think there is the demand for it. And two, Sega really doesn't like to reference its old spin-off material.
Nope.
So I don't think it's a market. I don't think there's an audience to justify it. The production cost for IDW, I don't think Sega would give it the okay anyway. I don't foresee it happening.
Yeah, no. Probably
that not. And since the late Ben Hurst put his plans out there, I wouldn't be totally comfortable doing it because I either need to follow his framework, which heaven forbid if any of that got rejected, or do something entirely my own, in which case it feels like I'm deliberately ignoring his intentions. It's a no-win situation.
Yeah. It's tough. Next question here is from Geo. Will we see new characters from Silver's future? I always thought of new animal characters from the future, something we haven't seen yet.
It would be interesting to actually explore Silver's timeline, but to do that, we would either need an excuse plot for Sonic to come to the future so we're not spending the entire time in an unrelated setting, or Silver would need his own spinoff because it's hard enough to rationalize him coming back in time to be part of the main plot. It's something else altogether to just ignore the cast and the main series to beef up one character and his era.
Yeah. So. Or we need a ongoing spin-off book like Sonic Universe was.
Yeah, maybe.
That would be nice. That would be nice. Something like that. I don't know if you feel like doing that sort of thing again. It's a it's a good excuse to explore other characters for sure. So, but and you know, bring back Gold the Fennec. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Won't happen, but it'd be cool. And here's the next question from Stephen A. Having recently read the French Sonic Adventures 1994 comic, I need to ask this hypothetical question. Do you guys think a lot of what happened with those two comics was potentially down to mistranslation, changed plans, or poor communication? Because Knuckles appears to be a woman in the first comic who is also a princess, with a gray emerald in her crown while wearing leopard skin and having a tribe of echidnas, and this was just before Knuckles was introduced in the games. I only ask because nearly every Sonic comic was its own thing. I'm Scottish, so I grew up with Sonic the comic. And I just find that something incredibly cool where every region had its own take on Sonic, which would probably give you a headache if you had to do continuity welding.
Yeah.
And this is what I mentioned earlier about having, you know, different takes on Sonic. And I think that's cool too.
Forget welding. Just say multiverse and save yourself the hassle. I don't think, what was it, Princess Lucian? I think it was.
Let's see. Lucian, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she was a misinterpreted Knuckles necessarily, but I wouldn't be surprised if there were some early notes about ancient echidnas and the Chaos Emeralds that just got interpreted in its own way. Not being familiar with that work or the circumstances around it, I can't really speculate about how much was potentially mistranslation and how much was just the creator saying, we're doing our own thing. I really don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. All I know is, the French. I love you, France. Jacob B is here, and they have a question. As a comic writer, how does the whole creative process usually start? That is to say, if I were a writer seeking an artist, how much would I be expected to provide off the top? Are we talking just a basic script, or full-page breakdowns, or panel layouts, and whatnot?
That depends on the project and the art team. If this is somebody that you know personally, that you've worked with before, that you guys are kind of on the same wavelength, you might not have to provide as much. If this is something where you have the vision and you've got the base project put together and you are commissioning someone to draw it for you and you don't have any idea who they are outside of their portfolio, you want to give them as much as you can so that they don't have a lot of guesswork and you don't have to do a lot of revisions or request a lot of revisions, I should say.
Right.
Like with Drogoon, for example, because that's what I'm most familiar with. And what I do for Adam is, in addition to the scripts themselves, which are full scripts, panel by panel descriptions, notated word balloons so that it's easy to place and mark what goes where. I also do descriptions of character design and settings so that he knows what I want for those particular elements. I don't just say they fly. If it's a very specific setting, like if they go to a particular building, as the page 61 shows off, the crew finds a Drogoon temple inset in a mountain. I made sure to describe the mountain and the temple and the size of the doors and its placement in the forest. But if they're just flying over a forest scene, I don't necessarily have to say, okay, it's this many hectares and the trees are of this height and yada yada. It's more like they fly over a forest of broadleaf trees. You don't have to get too deep into the weeds, or the trees in this case. But if you're putting together your project and you're going to commission an artist, definitely do as much of the legwork beforehand as you can. That is, figure out what your settings are, make sure that they are well described, find a sample or reference images if you can. Characters, same thing. Make sure that they are fully realized in your head, or if you can't quite pin it down, give the artist room to create, and make that clear. That's the biggest thing, is clear communication
Mm-hmm.
with your artist. Make sure they know how much freedom they have, what you expect from them, and be open to a little bit of artistic interpretation unless you are really, really particular. In which case, make sure the artist knows going in, you are going to be a hard ass about this. You want it to be a very specific way, and they may not want to work with you in that regard. They may not be comfortable with being that precise to a particular vision. I don't know. It depends on who you're working with. But yeah, make sure you are providing the blueprint that they are going to build the building off of. Give them as much information as you can in a concise way, so they're not, reading a novel just to draw a page.
Yeah. I can speak with previous experience that Ian is very detailed, and he fleshes things out. He helps his artists. So that's very much appreciated.
I wrote that thing for you that one time.
Yeah, that was a while ago. that's still sitting there. I know. It's been a while. And finally, our last question here from Sonic Toast. I have a very important question. Mr. Ian Flynn, what is your personal opinion on chili dogs? Do you eat them? Do you like them? Do you have any obligation to eat them because of Sonic?
I was a very, very picky eater as a kid. And only recently have gotten into a variety of foods. So I wouldn't touch a hot dog or pizza or nachos or any really fun stuff for years. It broke my heart, because why did the Ninja Turtles have to love pizza? Pizza is it's gross. Why did they eat that? We are all so foolish as children. But
yeah. Man, I loved pizza as a kid, man. Give me them sweet, delicious carbs for bread. Give me that bread. That's what I want. I just want the bread.
There were some awkward birthday parties because, hot dogs and pizza. That's easy for the kiddos, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not a huge fan of hot dogs now. And chili's fine. I don't think I've ever really had chili on a dog. So... it's been 15 years of working on Sonic. I should probably eat a chili dog out of obligation at some point, just to say I have. But
I love chili dogs, especially when they're not just regular hot dogs, but actual sausages or bratwursts. That's the good stuff right there. Yes.
Now, when you have a chili dog, Kyle, is it like real meaty, eat in a bowl by itself chili, or something else?
Yeah. I want the beans and I want the meat in my chili. Thank you very much. So I want the thick chili. I want the good chili. It's what I want. I don't want it too spicy. That's a little extreme, but a little bit of seasoning in there doesn't hurt too bad. And I want the dog. And I want the bread, and I want the cheese. The cheese is the most important part. Unless you don't like cheese, or you're lactose intolerant. You're not a fan of cheese. I know, it's
not a big fan of cheese. I guess
that's how you don't like. That's why you wouldn't like pizza, I guess.
I mean, I've gotten over it. My palate has expanded vastly, but yeah, I'm not a big cheese guy.
As a kid, I was a fairly picky eater, but not too terrible, I don't think. I mean, I didn't like onions, so I took my bean burritos from Taco Bell with no onions, but, things like that. And I still don't like tomatoes on hamburgers or sandwiches, which is weird, because I love them on tacos. but on burgers and sandwiches, it's like, nah, no thanks. So.
Yeah, I've tried, but whenever there's a mater on a burger, all I taste is tomato.
Yeah.
And not like fun ketchup flavor. It just tastes like watered down, slightly bitter ketchup. It's
yeah.
Nah. Give me the meat and cheese. Let me taste the heart attack as I consume it.
Cheeseburger. Well, that's it. I'm gonna go have some chili dogs. Actually, no, I don't think I can. I don't think we have anything for chili dogs. We had chili, but no dogs. Ah, well, I can at least have chili, maybe. But
We
anyway,
have lots of leftovers. I should probably get through those.
yeah, we have those too. Maybe I should eat those.
But you don't care about what we're going to have for dinner. What you care about are all the wonderful people who make this show possible. And we care about them too. Those people are.
We care about them very much.
We care about them so much, we're going to name them right now.
Do it.
Those people are Daniel H., Alex P., James K., John B., Jennifer R., Samuel P., Sam Cybercat, Robotnik Holmes, Mike B., Justin G., Torchbound, Coupland Crew 128, Duiz Diz Din, Diane W., Scruffymatt, Andrew D., Chris A., John M., Dawn B., Yami M., Lee H. K., Sen Fritz, Lisa M., Sonny, Chevelle, Silly String, Salute Cat, Dave M., Nani, Off, Justin S., Blue Title Gamer, Bradley TT, Tick Tick, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. You did it, you son of a gun. Final Neil.
Wow. Very nice. Very nice, Paps. Very nice.
Final Neil, Digama F. Wow, Jonathan L. J. Frost, Jonathan D. PC the Unicorn, Rachel W. Godzilla, Chaos Universe, Sonic L. Sonic Legacy. Don't have to hide the surname on that one. Piggy Bank, Daniel B. Preston M. Pendulce, Dather the Dalek, Ogilvie Maurice, Jib, Owen BD, Dove, Glitchiest, Sapphire Scarletta, Turbo, Jonathan W. Red Wolf, Red the Supermanic, Red the Supernamic, Flixie, Sony N. What did we say last time? Was it Chase or was it Chaz?
It said Chaz.
Chaz? Okay. Chaz L. Crooker, Hero of Light 13, Afro Luffy X, Scurvy Piratehog, and Noodaloo.
I'm thinking of leaving all of those in. For once. Usually I cut them out so it's a nice smooth flow, but now I think I'm just going to leave them all in.
Yeah, okay.
Especially because the reaction to Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious was classic. Gotta leave that in. Gotta leave that.
I'm kind of glad I didn't read ahead. That was fun catching that off guard.
Yeah. I didn't know he did that. Good job, Paps. Oh, man. Where can people find you on the internet, Ian?
Find me on Twitter at Ian Flynn BKC, my personal website, BumbleKing.com, which has my portfolio and a comic shop where you can buy signed comics by me, and my personal web series with Adam Bryce Comics called Drogoon. That's DROGUNE.com. It is a free comic that you can read right now at your leisure, as much or as little as you want. Kyle, what about you?
You can find me on Twitter at KyleJCRB. You can also head on over to kngi.org, where you can find my other show, Nitro Game Injection, streaming live on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You can tune in over there and listen to some excellent video game music arrangements, covers, remixes, and all that other fun stuff generally created by the video game music community. Among other folks, you know, sometimes you get other things in there as well. So we have a lot of fun over there, and so be sure to hang out and check that show out. And also find the BumbleKast over there. You can find all the archived episodes of the BumbleKast in MP3 downloadable format for your listening pleasure. And all the podcast feed links are over there as well.
Follow the show on Twitter at BumbleKast. Contact us at BumbleKast@yahoo.com. And listen to us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, our YouTube channel, and KNGI.org, as Kyle just said.
Indeed. Don't forget to also check out the Bumble Store. Shop.spreadshirt.com/Bumble Store. You guys like buying things, don't you? You like capitalism, right? Head on over there and participate in capitalism and help us out a little bit on the side, too. Why not? Shop.spreadshirt.com/Bumble Store. They got home goods for you, or other goods. It's all good. Check it out.
And catch BumbleKast Gaming live streaming on YouTube now. That's youtube.com/BumbleKast videos, streaming Sundays at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time most usually.
Yes. Go over there. Check it out. Do the things. Subscribe over there and get notifications.
Did I say Bumble King videos? I said BumbleKast videos.
I think you might have said BumbleKast videos, but...
Okay, so it's youtube.com/BumbleKing videos.
Yeah, just search BumbleKast on YouTube and you'll find the channel. It comes up.
Like, at one point, I thought the channel was going to have a lot of Bumble King related stuff instead of just being purely BumbleKast. But, you know,
Here we
Time will
are.
tell.
Here we are.
Maybe it will expand.
Maybe it's just Bumble videos. That's fine. We'll do some
Full
Bumble
of vitamin
King.
B and K.
Bumble King. Bumble Kiddios. Bumble Kino. Bumble. We're gonna bumble on out of here, I think. I think we're done.
Oh, yeah. We've bumbled enough as it is.
Yeah, we've been done for a while. We've been done since before we even started.
Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other, and we'll see you next week.
We love you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. See you later. See you later.
All right. I am finally ready to begin to start to commence to go.
Oh, good. I am not prepared at all. So at least one of us is ready.
I mean, comparatively speaking, let's not be too generous.
Begin preparations to commence. You over there tooting? Yeah, me too.
Oh, shoot. I need to get the patron list before we get started.
Yeah, I guess. Do
I
whatever you
forgot
want.
about that.
You can just make up names.
Thanks to Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
And Jim. And
Kim.
Bim. And Flim.
And Kim.
And also Tim.
And Lim. And Bimmy and Jimmy.
Timmy and Tommy.
Bimmy and Jimmy from the
City and Beat.
from the Double Dragon. Yes, the amazing Rando. So the Chaos Emeralds are the main Super Saiyan. Yeah, that's right. Super Saiyan. It's not just regular blue. It's Super Saiyan.
Everybody Super Saiyan racing. Got a color right inside the lines.
You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org. Let's go bumble somewhere else. I don't know where, but we're gonna go bumble somewhere else. Maybe at a pizza shop. I like Chicago pizza. New York pizza.
I've never had a Chicago.
New York pizza is okay, but Chicago, man, I don't know. Chicago pizza is like cake, but it's a pizza, but it's also a cake. And so I like cake and I like pizza, so I'm into it.
Maybe a bit much for me.
Well, you know, I love bread and I love cheese, and they put a lot of that in both. There's a really good Chicago-style pizza joint in Riverside, California, of all places. And, yeah, I miss it. Because we don't have anything quite like the Chicago-style pizzas they made there in Phoenix, which is strange.
I remember when the Archie crew came up to do a show in Toronto, and they were just Googling places to eat. And my boss was like, "Where's T.O. Street Meat?" I'm like, "Lee, I've never heard of this place. What's T.O. Street Meat?" And she goes, "Toronto Street Meat. Any vendor on the street that serves meat in Toronto." It's like, oh.
T.O. Street Meat. Well, I mean, Toronto Street Meat. You gotta have your meat on the street, you know? Meat on the street.